Today on the Topping Show, The View, Ana Navarro mocks Trump for his assassination injury. Former CIA operative suggests that Trump set up his own assassination attempt. AOC calls Trump racist. Secret Service blunder, well, it gets worse. Illegal giving advice on squatting rights turns out to be a former militant. Chicago pastors said they should try voting Republican. Ford expands their gas truck production instead of EV. Chuys acquired by Darden Restaurants. Lexus stick shift SUV thanks to Akio Toyoda. Hopefully it comes to the US soon. GM CEO says that they will not reach their goal of 1 million EVs in 2025. Stellantis gets fined $190.7 million, and Bissell is recalling about 3.2 million steaming devices. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Guy says he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free 50 caliber musket or flintlock pistol with every July purchase to celebrate the 4th of July. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn more. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Ford to make their ICE plant a little bit bigger instead of making more EVs. Probably because they lost $132,000 per EV sold in Q2 2024. So not so great at a return on investment. Now this is first brought to us thanks to CNBC, specifically Michael Wayland, who's a writer over there. They say, quote, Ford to spend $3 billion to expand large truck production to a plant previously set for EVs. And of course, when it comes to the Ford trucks, it is the most important thing they make. Well, I like the Mustang better because it's got 3 pedals, but that's where all the profits come from the business. It's all about the Ford F-150, the ICE, the gas engine ones. The EVs are still losing money. They're moving somewhat in the right direction. The losses are not as bad as they used to be, but it's still got some time for them to actually get to break even and eventual profitability. Let's see, there's a good old Ford. What is that? That's a Ford F350 Super Duty. Grill the size of a small home from a Sears catalog back in the day. Perhaps. Just exaggerating a little bit. Now they say the new plant includes investing about $3 billion to expand the Super Duty production, including $2.5 billion at Ford's Oakland Assembly Complex in Ontario, Canada, as well as they said that the Canadian plant, which is expected to come online in 2026, will add an annual capacity of 100,000 units of the highly profitable pickup trucks. Which, again, that's exactly what the company needs to be doing, because again, that's where all the money comes from. It's not coming from EVs. CEO Jim Farley said in a release, quote, Super Duty is a vital tool for businesses and people around the world, and even at our Kentucky truck plant and Ohio assembly plant running flat out, we can't meet demand. This move benefits our customers and supercharges our Ford Pro commercial business, which that is the third division of the Ford company. They have the Ford Blue, which is the one you and I like with the Ford F-150, 250, 350, double banana Falcon. The internal combustion engine trucks, as well as a good old Mustang with 3 pedals. All cars should have that by default, of course. Then you have Ford Commercial, which is the bigger 450, 550, 750, all the big ones for commercial clients. Then you have Ford EV, which, again, right now, still losing a lot of money. So it'll be interesting to see that. Thankfully, this demand for this truck just keeps going up and up and up. Again, it's one of the strongest brands out there. There's a reason it's the best-selling truck since seemingly the dawn of time. And, I mean, you talk to truck guys, is a whole culture in and of itself. It is kind of sad that maybe only 1 or 2 actually be used to, haul anything these days. Okay, it's not that bad statistically speaking, but, yeah, it's a big sign that Ford is going to invest more in ICE engines, and most of these companies are pulling back on the EV investments as the sales are decreasing in terms of the rate of adoption. Because again, overall EV sales, overall they're increasing, but the rate keeps going down. A lot of the customers are looking at hybrids these days, as well as good old ICE engines, because they want a car to last more than 10 years maybe. I know we're talking about Ford in general, but nevertheless, good to see Ford continue to make those investments. Out of curiosity, do you know anyone who actually has a Ford F-150 or 250 or 350? And when was the last time you actually saw them hauling anything with that vehicle? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have Chuys to be acquired by Darden Restaurants. Now, Darden, if you have never heard of them, they're the parent company behind many of the brands you and I know and love. They're famously headquartered out of the good old state of Florida, which, I mean, half the interesting stories these days usually start with Florida Man. Granted, if you want to see a whole documentary on Darden Restaurants, go on the YouTube. There's a really good compilation by the company man, really good YouTuber, and he talks about kind of the history of the company. Now, in terms of the current holdings of what this company owns, Darden actually owns Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen. They also have Capital Grill, Season 52, Bahama Breeze, what is it, Eddie V's, Prime Seafood, Yard House. They own quite a few, and it looks like, according to Wikipedia, they have about 1,800 restaurants. So, quite many. Now, it looks like they're going to add yet another one. Now, a little sad to see a Texas company die, or in this case, be acquired. They're famously a Austin-based company called Chuys, Chuys, and of course is Tex-Mex, which is, as my grandpa would probably say, is called the bee's knees. I mean, it is the thing that so many people love eating in the great state, or some might argue the great country of Texas, or some people pronounce it Texas. Does not sound as fancy or cool. I actually feel a little. I should put on my Texas hat. I apologize for that faux pas. Now, this is article thanks to Warren Brown, and they say, quote, Austin-based Chuys Tex-Mex acquired by Darden Restaurants for $605 million, which is quite a pretty penny, and very interesting timing. I'm thinking, I suspect they bought him on the low, so to say. At least they should have been negotiating hard, because right now is one of the worst times for the restaurant industry. Many of them are on the precipice of bankruptcy because the revenues are going so down. We got 40-year hyperinflation. A lot of Americans are struggling just to make ends meet. And the number one thing you can cut from your budget is food. So you can alter your grocery bills, and then you can eat out less. So, I mean, when it comes to budgeting, that is one of the first things you can easily change because it's such a immediate variable. Now, they say that at the price of $37.50 per share, Orlando-based Darden completed the acquisition for $605 million, according to a news release in July 17th earlier. Chuys was founded in Austin on April 16th, 1982. They actually operate 105 restaurants in 15 states, and they are, of course, again, headquartered in Austin. In 12-month period, closing March 31st, they hold in $450.6 million in revenue, or roughly $4.5 million per restaurant. Net income for that time was $30.2 million, which, according to their financial release, which, that's not the best. Yeah, so they bought them for a little over 1 year in revenue. Interesting. Now, Darden CEO Rick Cardenas says, quote, Chuys is a differentiated brand within the full-service industry with a strong performance and growth potential. Based on the criteria for adding a brand to their Darden portfolio, we believe Chuys is an excellent fit that supports our winning strategy. I'm excited to welcome their, 7,400 team members to Darden and the diversity of the Darden portfolio in a new dining category, unquote. Which, yeah, again, hindsight is always 20/20 when it comes to investing. Again, I do not give investing advice on the show. But yeah, just as the news of this, of course, their stock jumped 47% from $25.27 per share to $37.24 per share. Wow. Which is quite a pretty penny. And yeah, it is a little bit more different than the usual Darden portfolio. I think it's probably going to be a good complementary. And thankfully, when it comes to a lot of acquisitions, I mean, one of the hesitations or one of the downsides in many cases is the decrease in headcount because there's a lot of redundant roles. In this case, it's one of those unique situations where there might be a little overhead they could eliminate when it comes to supply chain or a couple of those job redundancies. But in the case of the average worker at these companies, like, servers and chefs and cooks and store managers, in this case, thankfully, on average, I don't think there will be much turnover in terms of Chuys employees who will be leaving the company because of the acquisition. So a little bit of a silver lining in that regard, and hopefully the food quality does not go down. I mean, I'm a little partial. I enjoy season 52 from time to time when I'm with a client. They make a darn good salmon over there. I'm not gonna lie. So let me know in the comments, have you ever been to a Chuys? Do they have them in your local area? And are you a fan? Let me know, as always. Fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have a Lexus with a stick shift thanks to Akio Toyoda, which, fun business fact, the family name behind the brand that you and I know and love, the Toyota Motor Corporation, or Toyota North America for us, well, their name is actually Toyoda, but they changed the name of the business to a T. So their family name is Toyoda. Akio Toyoda is a grandson of the founder of the company, and he is a very much automotive enthusiast, a little unfortunate that he stepped down from CEO position a couple was it, about 13, 14 years ago. However, he's still the chairman of the board of directors, so still involved in the company in a different way. Now, this is one of the coolest Lexuses I've seen in a while, and this will be the first Lexus with a stick shift since 2013. We had the Lexus IS250. That's pretty cool. Now, granted, this is it's based on the Corolla, so it's like a whole new platform. But still, I mean, you add a little luxury, and it is a cool idea. I like it. Now, this is coming us thanks to Jose Rodriguez, who's a writer at thedrive.com. They say, quote, GR Corolla powered Lexus LBX reminds us crossovers can be cool if we let them. The manual 300 horsepower Lexus LBX Morizo RR is one small SUV we regret missing out on. Because unfortunately, can't get it in the US. Damn it. For now. Hopefully we can somehow fix that. And looking at the picture, if you're just tuning in on audio-wise on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or one of the other alternatives, it looks pretty aggressive. And you know me, I am pretty much the antithesis of an SUV owner. Every once in a while, my friends will tell me I need one for like IT recycle projects or taking gear to customers, which is a rare occasion. And previously, the only SUV I'd ever obtained, and granted, I'd have to have a copious amount of capital to buy one, would be, I say vintage, a 2009 Porsche, what is it, Cayenne GTS, which is a V8 stick shift SUV. They only imported like 253 in the US, I think. So finding one is darn near impossible. When you do find one, it has 100,000 miles and it costs $50,000 plus. So I partially digress. And yeah, to me, this is an SUV I would actually entertain purchasing. It looks very angular. The blue paint actually looks pretty darn good. Granted, you know me, I love a weird green car if they had that option. And here's a couple of the... Oh, I can't expand that picture? Come on now. A couple of close-ups there, a little montage of them. Man, it looks amazing. Now, they say, quote, about a year ago, Akio Toyoda all but confirmed the release of a performance model based on the LX LBX crossover. Lexus has released the LBX Morizo RR in Japan. Unfortunately, thanks to the damn importation process, you got to import that without, a bunch of pain in the rear regulation, bureaucracy, and all other safety crap. Well, you have to wait 25 years. That's why we see such a big influx of GTRs lately. The 25-year rule, very common for automotive enthusiasts. Once that period hits, basically you import whatever you want. Now, they say, quote, what started off as a one-off for the vehicle for the Toyota's chairman, made in production after all yielding a rare compact crossover focused on performance and luxury, which that's also the benefit of having a passionate chairman or passionate founder of a company or a leader of a company. Like, if you're an automobile company, you should be big into racing, tech, and just all about auto performance. And that's why I think Jim Farley's a great leader for Ford Motor Company. I mean, he's an active racer. And he also said, which I love it, Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, said as long as he's in charge, he does not care what Chrysler Dodge is doing. He does not care what GM is doing. He will always make an affordable V8 sports car with a stick shift, which I would say all cars should be by default, but I partially digress. And I'm just going to hover on that picture while I read this because that looks sick. They say, quote, the LBX Morizo RR borrows the GR Yaris and GR Corolla's turbocharged 3-cylinder engine combined with a rowdy little G16E GTS with a 6-speed manual transmission. Or, if you want to feel dead inside, an 8-speed automatic transmission. They say the engine's good for 300 horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque, which propels a 3,175-pound crossover 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds, which is pretty darn good for that, given those situation. Even though the LBX Morizo can't quite sprint quite as fast as the Toyota GR Corolla, 0 to 60 in 4.99 seconds, it's in the neighborhood, and because LBX is a Lexus, it gets more creature comforts and having comparable performance. Which, see, what's the price at? They said the LBX Morizo RR will now be one of the trims that makes up the LBX lineup in Japan, with it based on the Yaris Cross. Neither the LBX or Yaris Cross are available in the US, and there's little chance that it will be imported. Unless we get some awesome presidential candidate just gets rid of all that red tape. Kind of nice. They say that an enthusiast small crossover as enticing as this RR would have limited competition in America. Exactly. You could own that niche. Again, they're not going to make a million of these units. It's going to... I understand that not everyone wants a stick shift these days or a performance SUV, but I still think there's a little niche for this, and they can make a pretty penny on it. They say that the LBX Morizo RR will start at about exchange rate, about $41,475 given the U.S. exchange rate. That's actually not that bad for performance SUV. And here you can see they got some sporty rims. I do like they actually have the brake calipers painted bright yellow and got the Lexus logo on there. Got the 3 pedals and the stick shift. Of course, it's all wrapped in luxurious, high-end leather materials. And that looks incredibly cool. It just, oh man. It looks pretty neat. Again, I don't think I would ever buy an SUV, but in this case, if I had the money for an extra vehicle, I mean, this is a contender, some might say. So it's really cool. Again, but fortunately, the odds of getting it in the US, unless maybe if you're the right people, you maybe get the show and display exemption. But again, those good luck. Those are usually pretty hard to get. And it's pretty cool. Again, the last stick shift from Lexus was 2013. And they should make this. Because again, Cadillac is making money hand over fist with the Cadillac CTS, was it CT4, CT5? They have the whole V Blackwing series. That is cool. You got performance V8, twin turbo V6, or a good old V8. And those things, the take rate in terms of automatic versus a manual transmission is about a little over 50% people go for the stick shift. So people are willing to pay for a luxury stick shift. It is a thing. And I mean, an SUV at that price point, with that type of power, and that type of, that would just be a fun, cool thing. Again, I know they're not going to make, a million of these units rolling off the assembly lines, but it'd be a great way to get some attention, get some enthusiast passion, get some enthusiast love from the community. And shoot, they slap on the GR. I mean, you can add it to the Toyota race team or the race academy. I mean, let me know in the comments. Would you ever buy a performance SUV like that? Do you think Toyota should try to import them in the United States or assemble them locally? Because, again, they are missing. Lexus is known for luxury. They've been for decades. One of my favorite books is here. Oh, it eludes me at the moment. Where is it? The Lexus the Relent. Yeah. So it's a book called Lexus the Relentless Pursuit. It's a really great book. It talks about how they built the Lexus brand. It's very impressive. They've always been about luxury, but I think they should inject a little bit more of the performance. But let me know in the comments. Did you ever buy something like this from Lexus? As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, GM CEO says that they will not hit their goal of 1 million EVs by 2025 because the market just isn't developing. Huh, who would have thunk it? Oh yes, smarter people like the chairman and CEO of Toyota, who said we're going to invest a lot of money into hybrid technologies, which the free market, that's what most Americans are gravitating towards, and that's one of the fastest growing segments of automotive sales. The most hilarious thing in terms of business ineptitudes, GM makes one hybrid, the Corvette, which makes me die a little inside knowing that the Corvette is only 2 pedals, comes in a hybrid and EV mode, but I partially digress. Now this comes from a very appropriately named website called Inside EVs. And this article is specifically written by Kevin Williams, who's right over there. They say, quote, GM won't hit 1 million EV target by 2025, market not developing. GM CEO Mary Barra announced that it won't hit its production capacity goal, but remains optimistic that the EV market will continue to grow. And you can see their whole portfolio of EVs. One of them is like a rendering of a Buick, which all the companies go EV, that I wouldn't guess that given the demographics of who buys a Buick and why they buy a Buick. Which is a fun ADHD question. Do you know anyone who willingly purchased a Buick vehicle in the past 20 years? I know friends and family who have gotten them. Unfortunately, the most common way to acquire a Buick in your life is by an older relative passing away. That's why my dad has one, because my grandpa passed away, and they thought, well, at the time, what was it, a 2001 LeSabre or something like that? Or I forget what the specific model is, but they're darn near bulletproof. At the time, they're pretty reliable, so they just kept it. Now, I'm not sure of anyone who's done that since. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Do you know anyone who has bought a Buick in the past 20 years? Willingly, I'll add that. They say, quote, GM shocked the world in 2021 when Mary Barra announced it will go zero emissions by 2025. Oh, Mary Barra. They said one of the first milestones was coming up. GM planned the production capacity to build 1 million EVs per year in North America by the end of 2025. But today in an interview, she said, well, not so much. Mary Barra specifically said, quote, We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown here. We won't get to 1 million because the market just isn't developing, but we'll get there, unquote. Which, again, is also, investors should also be asking, wait a minute, you want to shut down the most profitable parts of the company? You want to be full EV by these dates? Cadillac full EV by 2030, the whole portfolio full EV by 2035? Are you inebriated, perhaps, drinking on the job? I don't know. Why would you do that to the people? Now, he says, quote, General Motors moving to an all-electric future. Almost what's more important is the vehicle is really the software platform, rather, unquote, which is the most ironic thing in business and politics is the United Auto Workers electing someone who wants to destroy their industry by making them go to EVs where they make less money and need less rudimentary labor, which is what the UAW is traditionally known for. That being said, of course, I do know good people who are actually hardworking who do work there. A couple of them. Now, Mary Barr says, quote, the next 10, 11, 12 years is going to be pretty transformative in the way people move, unquote. They're still confident that they'll get their software to be even better than the competition. Which, I mean, I don't know what the Las Vegas odds are of having their software being superior than the competition. I'm just saying in terms of the outlook or the match 8-ball, if you're to shake and be like, will GM software be superior than the competition in the next couple years? Outlook, not so good. I mean, they are recruiting more and more of them, but again, you also have to build a culture around it. I mean, they need a huge transformation, and are they really capable? I mean, let's just say I'm a little bit pessimistic to say the least, but let me know in the comments. Do you know anyone who's bought, I mean, their EV sales are technically increasing. Do you know anyone who's bought a GM EV, again, who doesn't have a family member who works there, so actually had to pay full price for it? And did they actually enjoy the product and the whole situation? Let me in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Culture podcast, you have a Chicago pastor saying Democrats have done nothing for the black community and they should examine voting Republican. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Libs of TikTok. And his voice is, of course, infinitely better than me. So go ahead and I'll pull that up here.
But one of the things I want to say, I'm Pastor David Lowry, Universal Baptist Church. One of the things that I want to say is this. To the American people and patriots across this country, black people have been with the Democratic Party for over 60 years, and we have nothing. We don't own anything in our community. We have no schools. There's no businesses in the black community. All we have is crime and problems. So as a pastor, I'm standing up here with Bob Ferretti and some of the other black leaders. The truth of the matter is this. Why should black people keep voting for the Democrats when they don't have nothing? We need to understand this. We need to go and take a look at the Republican Party, but the Republican Party needs to be visual and need to do things in the black community. If we do that, we can make the change. We already know the Democrats are not going to do nothing. I'm the grandson of Eloise Barton, the second lady ever elected to the City Council of Chicago, 16 Ward. And now what we see, there's nothing that the Democrats have done or will they do across this country for black people but use us. So why not black people? Let us give the Republicans a chance to show what they can do for our communities as well.
Have Republicans done that, or are you still searching?
No, there's no search. The Republicans have reached out for a lot of the black leaders like myself, Brother Carter, Paul McKinley, and we've sat down with them and we started to talk. I've been talking to Mr. Porter and some of the other leaders on how we can start getting together. But let this be clear. As a contractor for the Heritage Foundation during the primary season, we sent teams out to the polling places in the black community, and we found exactly what President Trump was talking about. We found thumb drives. We found the printers. We found Democratic judges who was posing as Republican judges. So it's the polls that's being inundated with the cheating. We have receipts for everything I've said. I also saw in those polling places where the Democrats were telling people that there are no Republican ballots. There's so many things going on in these polling places in the black community, and that's how the Democrats are able to keep and say Chicago is blue. But actually, if the polling places were straight, black people would have an opportunity to vote for whom they choose, not whom they told to. And if the polling places aren't straight, they'll try to steal another election like they did in 2020.
But
So
Pastor,
that's why I'm here.
What makes you believe that Republicans will keep their word any more than you believe the Democrats did not?
Well, no, let me answer that.
Some of us are elected.
No.
Some black folks are elected.
Let me answer that for you. Let me answer that for you, okay? This is a simple fact right here. Of 60 years of Democrat rule, black people need to change. We need to give the Republicans a chance to see what they can do because we have not done that. Had we done that, we wouldn't be in this condition. So that's why I'm here.
Right.
Can you spell your name?
Yeah, could you spell your name?
I'm Pastor David L. Lowry Jr.
Precisely. In terms of history of Chicago, I mean, I'm not sure if he's talking about his specific district, but the city of Chicago, that's been Democrat for about 93 years. And I would love to hear some statistics on what they've done to make it better. I'll wait for that. I mean, I'd be all here all day waiting because, again, there's a reason pretty much every business and most people leave Chicago as quickly and as soon as they can. I mean, there's a lot of parallels like Detroit. Another perfect use case of having culture, business, and politics go down the drain. So, yeah, definitely can't. Again, I mean, it's so cliche that Democrats do this every 4 years. They go to black churches, go to the community, they say, oh, yeah, we're with you. I mean, we're going to help it out. Then, of course, they disappear. I mean, where have they made it better? What have they done to attract businesses to Chicago to help bring jobs? What have they done to make it safer? Really nothing. It's not that complicated. If you want to actually fix Chicago, there is a cultural component, of course. Now, another thing you do is get good, honest police, double the presence in Chicago. Go to the rough neighborhoods. Let it show there. Show businesses they can secure the neighborhoods safely. They can actually have employees go to work safely. Then, once businesses are there, have them work with high schools. Say, hey, if you get a high school degree, work for us for 3 or 4 years. We'll pay for your college degree if you want to go to college. Or you just work for us. Show them that there's a path to success. Maybe I'm alone in that assessment. Maybe I'm crazy. Let's go in the comments, see what folks have to say. My profile got 2.2 million views and 79,000 likes. One of the first comments comes from Planet of Memes, which actually did respond in meme form this time. He said, quote, it's time to get rid of the Democrat plantation. And it's a picture of an African-American man doing a thumbs up, or no, the peace sign. It says voting Democrat in 2016. Then he fades a little bit more in 2020. Then he disappears in 2024. They got 140 likes. So there is many speculation of why the border is so open. Is that just to replace folks in terms of voting demographics? Paul Zupa says, quote, smart man, the Trump and the Republican Party will make it life better for everyone, getting 315 likes. The Texas one says, well, everyone is welcome, getting 114 likes. Liberty Trillion says, welcome, let's make America prosperous for, again, for all races, religions, and creeds. Getting 2 likes. I should have got more than 2 likes. It's living. Ooh, we just increased it exponentially. Double digits increase. We're going to 3. Nevertheless, America Memed says, Dems don't care about black people. They only care about their vote. When a black person steps outside of line from the left, their racism becomes very clear. Getting 340 likes, which is very true. It is disgusting that if they even dare to have Republican or Libertarian values, or they aspire to them, or speak like that, they're called an Uncle Tom. That's disgusting. And yet, mainstream, like MSNBC does this all the time. Scrolling down more and more. Nikki Moon says Republicans understand that all black Americans need to be treated as equals, not as if they need the government's help to succeed as equals. We know they're wholly capable. Democrats say they're not. Democrats say they can't even get an ID to vote. In 159 likes, which, yep, bigotry of low expectations is quite viscerally disgusting as well. Also, a great example of the government making things worse with incentivizing single-parent homes. They quite literally give people more money to have a single mom raise a kid than for the family. There's a government, I mean, people wonder why especially in the African community, look at the statistics and look at when did the single motherhood rate go up to almost, 60%? It was after the government implemented programs to directly incentivize that. Disgusting. And maybe people would argue that it's intentional because then they get the votes. Now, scrolling down more and more, let's see if there's any contrarian statements here. Libercat Media TM says, and they're finally waking up, and there's a sign that says, no one has done more to harm Americans than Democrats, getting 356 likes. There's a famous clip, Red Pill USA has it's about 40 seconds, Elon and Don Lemon, which, I mean, he is about as appealing as eating a lemon. I'm sure that joke isn't original, but is an attempt at a joke nevertheless.
Everyone
Everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Well, not everyone was a slave.
No, everyone was a slave.
Okay.
We are all descended from slaves. It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
What advantage does the color of my skin give me?
There's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. And there's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country.
If we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making it the central thing, it will never go away.
Why do you believe that?
I think we want to
Morgan Freeman famously says the same thing.
get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue and just treat people like individuals.
As youth might say, based. That got 944 likes. Here. E. Miles Chong says he's right, getting 222 likes. Contrarian statement. No, it's not. Nevertheless, it's interesting. Donna Marie has a picture. It says, oops, 1993, let that sink in. It says, the first black Democratic senator was in 1993. The first black Republican senator was in 1870. Got 32 likes. Orwell's Ghost says 96% vote Democrat. They'll never vote Republican in massive numbers. They will hate white Americans. Stop trying to cater to them. He 151 likes. Which, again, never give up hope. And I think more of them are going to vote Libertarian as well as Republican throughout the years. Because, again, the situation is not getting better. I challenge someone to name one business or even individual who's moved to Chicago in the past 10 years. I mean, it's very similar to Los Angeles or California. Like, they're bleeding people, companies left and right. They're leaving. Let's see, scrolling down more and more. Let's see. Proud Patriot US says, amen. I hope black people wake up. They've been used by Democrats for far too long, getting 60 likes. America Papa Bear says, MAGA welcomes you, getting 43 likes. Again, that's America Papa Bear. Scrolling down. Bruce Ballo says America's waking up, getting 67 likes. I think we will see a huge cultural shift as more and more people start to realize, what have politicians ever done for me? Again, that goes for a lot of the rhinos and a lot of Republicans as well, because there are a lot of those rhinos that go, especially for me, I'm a very passionate Second Amendment enthusiast, and a lot of Republicans say, oh yeah, we're going to fight for gun rights. A couple of them have. Many of them have not. A lot of rhinos out there. But let me know in the comments, do you think Chicago will, I mean, that'd be a tall order for the whole city to actually vote red? It's not out of the realm of possibility, but what are the odds it actually does go red during the presidential election and even the state? I mean, it's actually thinking enough. If you look at the state of Illinois and county by county, it is mostly red. But Chicago is so deep blue, and of course there's a huge population density there that swings the whole state. Let me know in the comments, do you think Chicago will ever vote red in our lifetime? Could 2024 be that time? Let me know in the comments. As always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have The View, Ana Navarro mocking Trump, wishing he was hurt more after the assassination attempt. And I apologize, we're going to actually watch something from The View. I can't but wonder or think it's the same phenomenon as that crappy cartoon Velma, where they tried to redo Scooby-Doo without Scooby-Doo and made it terrible. And a lot of people watch it, but it's mostly to hate watch it. I can't help but think that's probably a large people or a large percentage of people who tune into The View on a regular basis, or they just watch it as like a comedy. Like, how dumb are these people? Because, again, swing and a miss would be a good metaphor for most of The View. And the most ironic name in terms of like a program, it's called The View, but it's not something you would ever willingly want to view. But I partially digress. This was brought to us thanks to Libs at TikTok, who says, quote, Ana Navarro mocks President Trump's injury from his attempted assassination. Too bad the bandage was just over his ear, should have been over his mouth. Could The View get any more repulsive? Ooh, don't tempt him like that, Libs at TikTok. It could. I mean, what if they had Lizzo on? I mean, believe it or not, it could get more repulsive. I know that's a tall order or a wide order, but let's hear what the chickens have to say.
Biden had been up there giving that speech, men in white coats would have interrupted him and carted him off and put him in a padded wagon. I thought today I would wake up and the TV would be full of like doctors talking about Donald Trump's cognitive decline. I thought it would be full of Republicans hanging their heads in shame like Democrats did. Joe Biden had a bad 90-minute debate. He said it's one episode. That's what we've seen so far. What we saw yesterday.
I mean, she's looking at the camera. I don't think she's visually impaired, legally speaking.
was a replay of Trump's 90-minute constant rallies. It's too bad the bandage was just over his ear. It should have been over his mouth. Biden had
all the seals or all the cows in the audience clap their hooves together brainlessly. Which I mean, one of my favorite conspiracy theories is that The View is owned by like a very misogynistic man to actually just make women look bad. Because again, I mean, there are many brilliant women throughout history in the world. I mean, one of the best inventors in history was a gal who invented the Kevlar bulletproof vest, which saved millions of lives. And yet, none of those brilliant women have ever been anywhere near to The View. Now, scrolling down, this got 2.5 million views, as well as 37,000 likes. One of the first statements comes from Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, "The View is awful," getting 1.9 thousand likes. Scrolling down more and more. Oh, come on. Planet of Memes did not respond in meme form in this post. It says, quote, "Project 2025 will mandate The View be canceled," getting 501 likes, which, I mean, I never wanted it to be canceled because, again, it's so bad, it's kind of funny. And more media, the better. Granted, it's concerning when some of it is, false narrative or some just blatant lies. That's not good, but yeah, I would never want it to be canceled. It provides a lot of comedy entertainment for a lot of folks. And 18 people who do seriously watch it. Old School Eddie says, "The View is based on hate. It's more obvious every day now," getting 1.3 thousand likes. Paul Zupa says, "What a disposable woman?" I don't think he was using that word properly. Says, I'm guessing he meant disgusting. He also says disposable. I mean, some would argue you could probably replace her with someone else and they wouldn't notice. But nevertheless, he says, "Shame on Ana Navarro. It's been less than a week and she's already saying these vile things," getting 828 likes. Pump.ai says, "These women are disgusting," getting 2,000 likes. Scrolling down more and more. DP says, "Cancel The View," getting 633 likes. Toasty says, "This show's garbage and should be canceled," getting 201 likes. America Papa Bear in the comment section again saying, "TDS is real mental illness. These women are the poster child for it," getting 450 likes. Sean says, "Horrible, horrible woman," getting 193 likes. Craig Chamberlain says, "PSA, friends don't let friends watch The View," getting 814 likes. Let's see here. Global Statistics says, "All 5 of these women fuel the misinformation machine. Very easy to see," getting 258 likes. Any contrarian statements? A couple of Family Guy gifs of throwing up. Let's see here. Joshua Walker says, "Yes, just listen to Whoopi." What does Whoopi say?
For me, I have a lot of faith in the American people. And I don't know very many men who want to be talked to the way that this man has been talking to men in his audience.
That's interesting. She counts with her pinky finger? Never seen that before.
To men in his audience. I don't know any women, and I know his grandchild was up.
She's got like her 401k on her hand. That's a lot of gold. Which, statistically speaking, does grow over time, though not financial advice, of course.
On the thing, and they're trying to humanize him and change your idea about who this guy is. Don't fall for that.
Trump, you're talking about. Yeah. Talking about Trump.
Humanizing him because the granddaughter spoke. That got 85 likes. Going down more and more. Let's see. Jerry Schraub simply says, "Oh, shut up," getting 78 likes. Dr. Maga says the show is absolutely, completely repulsive, getting 53 likes. So yeah, I was going to say, The View does not have class. Many would say they are just ass, and not in a good way. So, fascinatingly enough, they're still on the air. I would love to see the profitability or the kind of the statistics on how much it costs to actually run The View, and how much money they make, and how much money they pull in. Yeah, I can't but wonder what's the profitability of that program. So let me know in the comments. Do you know anyone who actually legitimately watches The View, and not as a joke? As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have illegal giving advice about taking American homes with squatting rights. Well, it turns out that this person was a former militant. Now, this was brought to us thanks to End Wokeness on X Twitter, who says, quote, "Remember the illegal who encouraged squatting in U.S. homes? Turns out he's a former sergeant in Venezuela's military intelligence unit named Lino Moreno." This is, that's about 1 minute 30. I'll read the translation. I don't know. What he's actually saying.
Mi gente, he pensado.
Of course, he's not wearing a suit. He's wearing a rudimentary sweater with a disgusting childlike looking logo on it. Nevertheless, he says, I've thought about invading a house in the United States. I found out there's a law that says if a house is not inhabited, we can seize it. Guys here. In the United States, it also applies the of the land invasion, and I think will be next business invading. Abandoned houses, since I have looked for some codes with my friends African, they told me that they have already taken about 7 houses. And as saying goes, Daddy, you have to look for and return, and the return now is. The grammar is just terrible, to say the least. And he says, to invade house, since we are not in a street situation, and the only way we have not live in the street and not be a public burden. The law says, I was going to say, you're going to be a public burden if you're stealing houses. The law says that the abandoned house deteriorated, and that is bad condition, we can get and repair and live. And if we sell it, it can even ask for credits with what you do say. Grammar terrible, fashion F-, obviously. Mentally and morally vacuous, of course. I mean, the fact that there's squatter rights at all is disgusting, to say the least. I mean, we've heard the horror stories of homeowner getting there, or someone who's leasing a house, and it's impossible to evict them because of the BS laws. Now, scrolling down more and more, you have the first comments coming from Paul Zazupa saying, quote, foreign military are helping perpetuate the invasion across our border. Biden is allowing this. It's treason, unquote. Getting 965 likes. You got their Eagleman says, quote, the more you know, and the border is so wide open. Getting 804 likes. Now, Tina Gomez says, all former military or gang-affiliated men are in the U.S. When they get activated before the mass protests start, it will get ugly. This was done on purpose. Getting 1.4 thousand likes. Let's see here. Cowboy Pill says, does this surprise anyone? And it is a raft full of migrants saying, you are not being tolerant, you are not being inclusive, you're not being open-minded, you are being taken over. I'm getting 143 likes. Which it is fascinating how we spent hundreds of billions of dollars in other countries defending their borders, and yet we won't spend a couple of $1 billion to even create a border wall, or even secure our own border, which is always disappointing and fascinating to see the resource allocation in the United States government and what they really care about. You have Wall Street Ape says, pretending to act shocked, of course, globalists have been importing foreign military leaders to cause election year chaos, getting 515 likes. One bad dude says, surprise, surprise, they know exactly who they're letting in, getting 396 likes. Let's see here. This is the article from dailymail.com, and this is Josie Caruso who posted it. She said, the notorious Venezuelan migrant who encouraged the other border crossers to squat in U.S. homes and collect benefits may have once been a spy. There you can see him. They got 140 likes. Joshua Walker says, imagine how many more are here but undetected, getting 112 likes. The Batman meme so has my attention, the old cartoon. Jeff, franchise guy, says, weird that he's military-aged male who was former military. Getting 20 likes. With the Batman going, Bruce Ballo says, power, money, and greed is why this happened. Dems hate America. Getting 100 likes. See if there's any contrarian statements here. I kind of doubt it in this situation. Let's see. Kind of a random meme from Mr. Bigglesworth Memes saying, another government inside job. It says, look, all I'm saying is Elizabeth Warren has been mysteriously MIA past couple days. And see the attempted Trump assassinator, the shooter. It kind of does look like Elizabeth Warren. Maybe they're part of the same tribe. Though he has only slightly shorter hair. Resemblance is uncanny. It got 74 likes. See. Yeah, it is fascinating to see them all. I mean, a lot of military-aged men illegally coming in here. And yet, we're told the border is secure and that, yeah, that they're doing a good job. A friendly reminder: Kamala Harris, that's one of the few jobs Biden gave her. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you the job. You gotta secure the border. Come on, man. That was one of her jobs. Which, on another note, I would be fascinated to see the schedule of what Kamala Harris does on a day-to-day basis. Because, I mean, I don't know a single person. Again, I have Democrat friends as well. I mean, no one thinks the U.S. southern border is secure or that she's done a good job. So let me know in the comments. Are you surprised that this illegal turned out to be a former military serviceman? Again, who is telling people to steal houses. Are you surprised? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the political part of the podcast, you have a former CIA operative suggest that Trump set up his own assassination attempt. Right? She is as mentally vacuous as she is beautiful, some might say. Some might say that, I'm sorry, that's probably the worst Trump you hear all year, but nevertheless, the attempt was made. Yeah. This is brought to us thanks to Colin Rugg over on our good old X-Twitter, when she says, quote, new former CIA analyst Gail Helt suggested Donald Trump set up his own assassination attempt. Helt, who worked for the agency for 11 years, suggested Trump set up a failed hit because he's so desperate to stay out of prison. Which, just a friendly reminder, the Supreme Court ruled in his favor just a couple days prior to the attempted assassination attempt. So, I don't know what your thoughts are there. So she says, quote, Trump was hit with a bullet because he's desperate to stay out of prison. Held suggests that Trump perfectly timed to tilt his head and dodge a bullet, something that's practically impossible. If we're going to float conspiracy theories, it's actually more likely that the CIA set up this attempt. Or maybe the Clintons. What has Hillary Clinton been up to? Fascinating how a statistically impossible number of people around her have committed suicide, at least up to 28 people. So I should say, for the record, I think Hillary Clinton is, of course, brave, beautiful, and brilliant, and has a completely squeaky clean track record. I mean, it's totally normal. Her speaking fees are, $250,000 for speeches no one actually hears. And even though she's gotten paid, hundreds of thousands, she's worth hundreds of millions. Completely moral person. Definitely didn't visit any islands. The Clintons are clean. Just want to let everyone know. Oh, by the way, I just don't plan on ending my life prematurely anytime soon. I enjoy to live it to my fullest, and I appreciate life. Just want to throw that out there. Now, here you can see actually the animation that someone actually generated to show you how close we were to losing Trump. And it's quite scary.
Take a look what happened.
So it would have hit him basically right through his right eye, through his head. And the fact that he turned a little bit, it grazed the ear. Like, we don't live, he's not on that drug from Limitless, that one TV show or movie. You can't just move that quickly. Like, even the most professional athlete can't dodge a bullet like that. He's not the Flash. That's insane. Yeah, she said, quote, no, he didn't. He was hit by the bullet because he was desperate to stay out of prison. Wow. That went pretty viral. Got 12.7 million views as well as 53,000 likes. Well, the first response comes from Gunther Edelman saying, quote, Gail Helt sounds like she's an effing idiot. Getting 14,000 likes. Colin Rugg simply said she blocked me. There you can see her. Actually, I wonder, I'm curious, if she locked her profile. How do you spell that? G-H-E-L-T. So she's definitely one of the first Twitter users, or just paid to have a buddy over there give her that URL or that handle. Let's see. Why can't I find it? Did she delete her profile? Maybe? Well, let's try searching one more time. G-A-I-L. Well, let's see. Helt. I think she did. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's try one more time. G-A-I-L-H-E-L-T. Huh. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of people roasting her on social media, so maybe. Oh, she changed her profile picture, perhaps? So now there's a new Gail Helt. What is this? I'm not seeing the join June 2024. So yeah, it looks like maybe she made a new profile. Has 45 followers and a different background. Now, other top comments coming from, what is this? Oh, let's see. So Hank says she just posted this column, and she says, context morons, the point was that no, he didn't take the bullet for our country. The point was that he's running to stay out of prison, and that's why he took the bullet. No one believes he set himself up, and you're a fool for trying to twist that like that. Got 1.3 thousand likes. And then Colin Rock says, no one believes he set himself up. Actually, 34% of Democrats think he set himself up. Again, I looked for her profile twice. I couldn't find it. PDB says, women are way too emotional for politics, getting 5.1 thousand likes. Colin Rock says, go look at her profile picture, not stable at all, getting 4,000 likes. Which, I mean, yeah, she looks, creepy as hell. Some might argue that might not have much ground to stand on. Fair, I suppose. But, yeah, definitely unusual looks. X Van Fleet says, quote, it's time that those conspiracy theories get Alex Jones' treatment lawfare, getting 971 likes. Yeah, I doubt that she'll be fined like $3 trillion, though. Red Wave Press says, Trump hired a 20-year-old kid to shoot him in the head just for a photo op. That makes total sense. Okay, 1.6 thousand likes. Going down more and more. Let's see. Any contrarian statements? American Papa Bear says, quote, so she's suggesting that Trump is the Neo from the Matrix. They're saying he can dodge bullets. Okay, 131 likes. British Morpheus would say, no. Someday you won't have to. Something to that effect. It's been a while since I saw that great film. One bad dude says these people are so corrupt, it's disgusting. On top, they think we're stupid, getting 831 likes. The corrupt mainstream media account, or CMM, says Victor Trump triumphantly saying, get shot in the ear, continues campaigning, and Biden gets shot in the arm, cancels plans, getting 174 likes. Although that was a jab, not, firearm type of shot. But I should also clarify. Yeah, never mind. Right Angle News Network says, so at what point are we charging for her for malicious lies and defamation and then fining her so close to $1 billion for her words? They set the precedent. It's time that we follow along and play their game. I want her to lose every single cent she has, getting 869 likes and direct reference to Alex Jones, who, they literally slapped those fines on him to, quote, send a message. That's what the lawyer the Sandy Hook family said. So Alex Jones was fined more than the GDP of most countries for less than 30 minutes of airtime for his conspiracy theory. Yeah, fascinating how the law is only applied to one set of political folks. Lenka Huska White says, I am speechless. Some people have so much hate inside them that it makes them talk as lunatics. In 177 likes. American Papa Bear also says, when I read CIA analyst, I immediately knew she was lying. Do you expect anything from the CIA deep state? Getting 227 likes. Yeah, remember when 50 former top analysts from the U.S. government swore that the Hunter Biden laptop, the whole story was, just fake Russian propaganda? Fascinatingly enough, they never did apologize for their lies or ineptitudes. I'll let you decide which one they were. Let's see here. Bio Holt says, why is it always women? Getting 140 likes. Sherry says, what an evil idiot. Getting 372 likes. So not a lot of contrarian statements there. I'm not sure how many people... Yeah, it'd be fascinating to see what's the pie chart of, like, how many people in the three-letter acronym agencies support Trump or viscerally hate him. Yeah. Perhaps a quite concerning statistic also when you consider they're supposed to be protecting him in theory. But let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, AOC calls Trump a racist and a neo-Nazi. Will she ever stop? Probably not. That's kind of what she does. Now this is brought to us thanks to Libs of TikTok on X Twitter. She says, quote, AOC calls Trump a neo-Nazi days after he was shot. Is this what toning it down looks like? Which, no, if anything, they want to crank it up to 11. And I apologize because it's AOC speaking, so it might hurt your earballs a little bit, but nevertheless, let's see what she has to say. I mean, she already gets an F- for marketing, or more accurately, fashion apparel. Not sure what kind of jacket that is.
Donald Trump is also very old and a racist and a neo-Nazi. But anyways, I'm not even going to talk about Trump right now.
Fascinating how he has better race relations with than most, especially politicians. But nevertheless, that got 5 million views and 63,000 likes. One of the first comments came from Paul Zupa saying, quote, this is inciting violence. AOC needs to be censored by the White House, getting 3.9 thousand likes. Valentina Gomez also says the radical left resorts to insults when they cannot win with logical argument with facts, getting 3.9 thousand likes, which life in general, usually when someone just goes down the hole of making fun of you, or if you're trying to have an argument with someone, they start making arguments about, other things that have nothing to do with it, with the substance of the argument. That's usually a sure sign that they are losing. American Papa Bear also says they will never tone it down. They are too brainwashed to ever move past their TDS, getting 1.7 thousand likes. Evan Kilgore says this is the type of rhetoric that led to Trump's assassination attempt. AOC should be censored of the House for her this language, getting 4.2 thousand likes. Right Angle News Network says, quote, they're going to tone it down, or they aren't going to tone it down, rather, because their rhetoric, because it's exactly what they want. They want to have another insane person try to take Trump out because they cannot win in the ballot boxes. These people must be held accountable, getting 977 likes. The Moose Felix, interesting profile. It looks like to be a cartoon moose. So, for full transparency, I don't think mooses can actually type, so we'll say it's alleged moose. Says, quote, oh, they only want the Republicans to tone it down, unquote, getting 841 likes. The ultimate example, the pot calling the kettle black? One bad dude says we need a committee to investigate these maniacs, getting 857 likes. Let's see here. Final Cut Michigan says AOC needs to go back to bartending. His picture of Trump with his ear patch has text on it saying, try harder, libs, getting 146 likes. Brandon says AOC was half right. Donald Trump is Neo. You know, Neo from The Matrix, the infamous rooftop scene where he dodges bullets for the first time by bending over backwards. Oh, then they have the little that girl from 2016, or the liberal girl with short hair and a beanie. Perhaps redundant to say that, in a raincoat. Well, really rudimentary raincoat, crying. It never gets old. Imagine being a grown adult, perhaps mentally vacuous as a child, and crying because someone did or didn't get elected. I understand being disappointed your person didn't win, and there are things at stake. Their government is so fat and bloated it controls darn near everything we do. But like to break down this. Yeah, it'd be fascinating to see like where are they now in terms of like what she does for a living. I mean, now imagine if she wore that same outfit and Trump did win in 2024, and like her and all 8 of her cats just screamed again. It's fascinating. Let me know. Do you know anyone who actually cries, like really yells when it comes to politics? Going down more and more. Chicago Ray says New Yorkers got rid of Bowman. Time for AOC to get to being a bartender, getting 365 likes. Which, I mean, she is really proficient at social media. I mean, this will probably help her. It'll get her more donations, more support. I mean, there's a reason people keep voting for her. CYD says the left seems to be too comfortable with these political violence, getting 738 likes. See, there's a contrarian statements. Cash simply says she's losing it, getting 350 likes. Trump.ai says hate is all they know, getting 965 likes. Which is fascinating. Many of the times when you meet someone who like viscerally hates Trump, they never mention his policies or conscriptions. They never say, well, I disagree with policy A, B, or C. It's usually, oh, Orange Man bad, I hate his tweets. Like, okay, but he made like $3,000 more when he was in office versus his predecessor. Like, I don't know. Like, I always wonder, like, did it really help or hurt your family? I'd be interested. An ultimate hilarious thing. Oh yeah, AOC wearing is that a t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt, but the sleeves are rolled up. Ridiculous. But yeah, she has a long sleeve that says tax the rich. Which, let's see. I'm curious. What is her net worth? I believe her boyfriend is well off as well. What's her net worth? Celebrity net worth. Some saying 0.9 million. You make per year. Makes $125,000 per year? Jesus, way too much. Public sector's out of control. But nevertheless, viral moment for AOC yet again. And again, oh Jesus, sorry for your eyeballs if you're watching. Just did a roll of AOC, and the pictures, of course, are not. Some of them are getting very unglamorous, so to say. But yeah, I mean, this violent rhetoric worked for a lot of these folks and got them elected, gets them reelected. So do you think AOC or any of her colleagues will stop with this type of bombastic rhetoric that, I mean, clearly is making some people more and more unhinged. Let's just say I'm not too optimistic, but let me know in the comments. As always, fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, the Secret Service blunder gets worse with new tape from the hospital arrival when Donald J. Trump was shot by the attempted assassination. Now, again, this is really ridiculous in terms of, you'll see some competent people in this video doing their job, and then you'll see that one big gal. So, this is the family at the hospital.
Here we go. There's our favorite female Secret Service agent with the.
So there she is again. So this is an extra video. The first one, she's just standing in front of the SUV. Now, at least you have some competent people behind her. You got, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 guys fully strapped in military gear. We got plate carriers, helmets, ARs. And, I mean, she looks so, like, people say I'm awkward, which, yeah, that's true. But, I mean, she has the most awkward body language in this. Like, she looks like she has no idea what she's doing. Like, she's doing her job worse than I speak. She's saying something, because I stutter and have many speaking blunders throughout the show. Though I have a theory, the more people that click the subscribe button, the more articulate I have become. Some might argue it's just been a modicum of improvement, but nevertheless, improvement a little bit to say the least. So here, I'll play this whole thing real quick.
There's our favorite female Secret Service agent with the one with the negative aura. Okay, let's see what she does. Okay, so she's looking around.
She looks like is that Dr. Frankenstein? Or, what was it? The Biden look or the Poptulio? What was it? Cornholio from the Beavis and Butthead. So she's standing in front of the SUVs, which, I mean, we made fun of her for not being able to reholster a pistol, which, again, is pathetic if that's part of your job. I mean, shoot, that's something that most Texans can do. But nevertheless, now she's holding nothing, and she's just holding her hands out at a 90-degree angle. Or her arms out at a 90-degree angle with her hands holding nothing. So she's not ready for anything, maybe except perhaps eating donuts or something.
She's trying to figure out, should I take out my gun? Oh, okay, yeah. Let me take out my Glock. Okay, my gun's out. I'm ready to shoot someone.
There you go.
It's just so embarrassing. She stands there awkwardly, doesn't even know what to do. I mean, like, how is this person agent again? Here we go. There's our favorite female secret.
Ridiculous. Like she looks completely lost. Like, if anything, you should be even more taking in things. You should be even paying more focus and attention, not looking like you're a deer in the headlights in this situation. If she is articulated her job, or, she should be scanning everywhere around her, looking for threats and having that pistol ready. Again, you're going to a hospital where given the resource allocation, or rather, given the immediate departure to actually get to the hospital, I mean, they don't know who's all there. There could be someone on that roof too. There could be someone in that window. So if anything, should be even more, at the ready. But nevertheless, yeah, it went pretty viral for that ineptitudes of her. And the next Twitter got 11.6 million views. So 67,000 likes from the first comments coming from, let's see here. I'll just repatching the videos. Mo again says the Secret Service guarding Trump's rally. This old cliche of, I forget if it's a concert, but a guy in like a security uniform, instead of patting someone down, he just moves his arms around the person. So it doesn't really look like he does anything, which is a really popular meme when it comes to IT cybersecurity community. Got 1.1 thousand likes. Going down more and more. Uncle Bucket says, I have full confidence in the Secret Service. They have that comedian replacing her, and 122 likes. Mentee says she looks completely lost. They have the former PepsiCo security gal, and she has her Secret Service picture. It says, wanted for DEI crimes, getting 672 likes. Eddie says, some badass Green Beret or Navy SEAL was passed up for Melissa McCarthy. Which, yep, definitely not the best. You can see her from that infamous moment where she was standing outside the SUV after the assassination attempt, where she's holding her pistol, looking completely oblivious and lost. She's also wearing suspenders, I think. Are those maybe those are tactical suspenders? Her belt is certainly working overtime. I mean, that is a strong material. I'm not sure what DARPA is working with in terms of the branch part of the government that tries to look at technologies 50 years out. DARPA may have very well put some heavy resource allocation to inventing a belt for her. Now that got 543 likes. Maria Isabella says accurate, and it says Secret Service before and after DEI. You see a badass guy with with biceps bigger than most people's thighs, holding a sniper rifle. Of course, he has a beard, like all men should. They have the gal looking completely oblivious. Getting 422 likes. Maria Isabella says she's never going to let us down. It says Slope Team 6. They're all holding those old protractors from math and geometry class. Because, yeah, the head of the Secret Service says, oh, yeah, we couldn't put a sniper on the roof because the slant was too great. Which is either the dumbest statement or worst lie I ever heard. Because, again, they have Secret Service on the White House that has a greater slant. And also, the slant is so slight and little that days later, a cow climbed up there. And I'm not talking about that cow. I mean, an actual cow. I got 1,000 likes. Looks like they finally tried to ask her a question. What is this? Amit Shah parody account says, Senator Barbosa and Blackburn confront U.S. Secret Service Director Cheadle at the RNC. Good for them.
This is exactly what you were doing today
This
on the
was
call.
an
Stonewalling.
assassination attempt. You owe the people answers. You owe President Trump answers.
Roger, take a left across.
Wait, that'd be kind of funny if all her security guards are, jacked, big, gym going guys that the DEI hires. That'd be kind of ironic. They got 214 likes. Crazy Moment says leader. It's a picture of Trump infamously holding his hand up after he's saying fight. It says impeached, arrested, convicted, shot, still standing, getting 370 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Someone by the name of J Patriot said Trump was set up, and they have the infamous video of the gal pulling her pistol out of the holster, like he lost, and then not being able to actually reholster it. And that got 612 likes. See here. So not too many contrarian statements. A lot of people bringing up the little graphic where it shows the difference between Trump just turning his head, making literally all the difference in the world. Scrolling down more and more. So not too many contrarian statements. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there's anyone held accountable at the Secret Service. I know it's a very rare thing when it comes to accountability in the public sector. And let's just say there's a lot of job security. But yeah, they certainly had, I mean, they're either corrupt or inept. Or maybe a little bit of both. I mean, either way, it's the biggest security blunder in our lives. At least in my life. But let me know in the comments. Do you think this gal will still be on the team? Or do you think they'll reassign her to guarding a Dairy Queen or something? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, Stellantis, aka Chrysler Dodge, to be fined $190.7 million for fuel penalties. A friendly reminder, Trump did say day one in office, if he gets elected, he'll repeal the EV mandates and actually let car companies make cars that people want to buy. There's a rare word that most Americans, I think, have forgotten called the free market. It'd be kind of nice to get back to that. Now, this comes to us thanks to David Shepardson, who's a writer over at Reuters, which they specifically say, quote, exclusive Chrysler parent company Stellantis paid $190.7 million in U.S. fuel economy penalties. There you see their really not very inspiring Stellantis logo, which, I don't know, looks kind of lame to me. Nevertheless, they say, quote, they paid $190.7 million in civil penalties for failing to meet U.S. fuel economy requirements from 2019 to 2020 and owes another $459.7 million in outstanding penalties, government documents seen by Reuters show. Which can be funny to let us know, hey, government, where does that money go again? Yeah, that's right, probably nothing. Probably overseas to countries we can't point to on a map. Certainly not doing anything for us, statistically speaking, if you look at how much money the U.S. government spends. Now, they say that, quote, the penalties paid in March and May were disclosed by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which administers the corporate average fuel economy program on a government website. Now they say, quote, Stellantis, which owns Fiat, Peugeot, and other brands, said the penalties were incurred before it was created in 2021. Stellantis said the penalties were, quote, not indicative of the company's direction, saying it was investing more than 50 billion euros, or in real dollars, well, slightly crappier fiat money, US dollars, 54.39 billion worldwide to produce EVs, including 24 US markets by 2030. Yep. Which again, keep telling people people say, oh, there's no ban on gas engines or gas vehicles. It's a de facto ban because of all of these fleet averages as well as emission averages The only way that they can conceivably hit them is with making EVs, which right now are still glorified disposable toys since, again, you can't really repair them. You're locked in with one manufacturer. Batteries will last, if you're really lucky, 10 years, which if I go a Japanese vehicle with an internal combustion engine, they'll last about 20, 30, 40 years plus if you properly maintain them. And yeah, it's quite, I mean, politically speaking, these companies are so, they're hurting. And the most ironic thing is that the UAW helped get the Biden administration elected, which is they're pushing all these new laws, rules, and regulations. So they're quite literally destroying the most profitable products, which the UAW used to make, good old V8 SUVs and sports cars. And that's where they made a lot of profit. That's where you needed a lot of labor. EVs, you need much less rudimentary labor, and you need more STEM fields like science, software developers, and they're not as profitable, especially in the short term. I mean, Ford lost $132,000 per EV sold in Q2 2024. So it is quite ironic that they kind of voted themselves out of a job and they, helped fund these politicians get into the office. And yeah, they probably should have backed a different pony, so to say. And again, the UAW has historically, for decades, been very, very much Democrat individually. And again, it's a group, it's an organization. There are people who are right wing in that, and overall there are more that are left. It would be interesting to see if more and more people in that organization start to realize, oh dear God, we voted ourselves out of a job. Maybe we should vote for more of a free market, or maybe we should vote for the opportunity to make things that we make the most money on that we darn near perfected, which is the good old V8 and large displacement gas vehicles. But yeah, not great for if you're a shareholder of Stellantis, which again is a parent company behind Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and as well as many European brands as well, including Maserati, Fiat. But yeah, definitely not good. And again, this is why politics matter. It affects darn near every industry and every business. So not good news for the Stellantis company. And definitely kind of sad to see how far they've fallen, considering especially Dodge used to be all about making the good old Hemi V8 and putting a V8 in pretty much everything from, the Trackhawk, big old SUV. They used to do the coolest things, and now they're acquiescing to EVs and straight six engines, which is disappointing to say the least. Yet another reminder that politics is very much important to business, because politicians and our government has gotten too big, controls pretty much every business in nauseam. But let me know in the comments your thoughts. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Bissell recalling 3.2 million steam cleaning devices. Now this is brought to us thanks to Fox Business, which is fascinatingly enough still in business. I think I account for about 10% of their internet traffic these days when doing my research. This is Ellison Murphy, who's a writer over there, saying, quote, Bissell recalls 3.2 million handheld steam cleaners across the U.S. over a burn hazard. They say that units of steam cleaners have been recalled in the U.S. as well as Canada. Going down more and more, you could see, that's a funny looking thing, like a bastardized teapot. A little, maybe a light green hue to the main plastic body, and then you have gray spigot and adjustment handle, or a little adjustment knob. Now they say, quote, the Consumer Product Safety Commission said, wow, these are really boring names. I thought BMW was bad about naming their vehicles in terms of just, not having, real names and having more, just, letters and numbers. This is the Bissell 39N7 and 2994. Again, 39N7 and 2994. Very inspirational product names. So cool, so hip. Actually, not so much. Now, they say, the series affected product could, quote, expel hot water or steam onto users while heating or during use. Which I thought was the whole point, though obviously it's probably not leaking properly. Now, in terms of their presence on X Twitter, which, again, is almost the upside of not having a big social media presence, because not a lot of people saw this, or they even didn't seem like they were angry. Now, on X Twitter, they say, quote, out of an abundance of caution, and again, this is from Bissell's Twitter account, say, quote, out of abundance of caution and in cooperation with the CSPS, we're issuing a voluntary recall of our steam shot cleaner. For more information on the impacted models and steps to receive a digital credit or refund, please visit Bissell.com/steamshotrecall, which, pretty straightforward in terms of reaching out to them. Let me pull up the actual really quick here. And this is funny in terms of some companies, when they do stuff on social media, they are viscerally roasted. And again, when it comes to recalls, a lot of people do get upset because you pay for a product and stop working out. Now, they still got 503 views. Now, not to brag, but one of my videos in June got 700 views. Not going to lie. That's pretty legit. And it did get 3 likes, which Not to brag, but I did get 4 likes on a video last week. Now, one of the first comments comes from Susie P, who I can't help but think she's one of those people who just complains all the time. Her name is Sick of It Mama. No snowflakes, so I guess she's not a fan of winter. Kidding, I know it's a political reference. She has 5,000 followers, though. And she says, quote, "I'm not a happy customer." They get 1 like. Now, Bissell, bless her heart, they responded to her saying, quote, "We understand that the situation..." Wait a minute. Yeah, I'll read what they say. "We understand that the situation may cause confusion and concern. We are here to assist with your question. Please send us a DM so we can better assist you, or visit their website for more information." Did you respond to that? Oh, geez Louise. So she says she responded to that, which I was going to say, that's how you know you're going to have a difficult customer, I think. She says, quote, "The situation is not causing any confusion. You should refund the whole amount. I've been on hold for an hour and 10 minutes. No. Yeah, she says, "I've been on hold for an hour and 10 minutes this morning. I'm not happy." What? Why would she waste her time like that? Now, again, that is terrible customer support. Again, something I blame the government on for increasing regulations in the United States, as well as minimum wage laws, which has caused many companies to outsource their customer support or their phone support. Which, again, how much do these things cost? Let's see. So, step 1, step 2, step 3. I'm trying to see, just look on Amazon or Walmart.com or one of these websites. Bissel. What do these possibly go for? Let's go to the, see here. Let's see. Amazon gives me, oh. Alright. Alright, Bissel. What's this? Steam. What do these go for? 120, more expensive than I thought. The cheapest one. So maybe they range from, what is this? These filtered the brands. Alright, so it's not like a $20 item at Walmart, I understand it, but okay, let's see. They run from maybe 80 to 150 to 200 bucks. Alright, but again, why is she on phone support when she could just go to the website? Because I don't know if she's not good at math, but in terms of, it's very important to know your hourly rate when you're, looking for a job or trying to get a promotion. I mean, I don't know. Again, we could probably, break down into a mathematical equation, but like, I don't know if she just didn't think about it, but yeah, if you're on the phone for an hour and 10 minutes, you're losing money. At a certain point, I mean, it's just not worth it to there's a reason a lot of people don't go through the process of doing a refund or going through a recall notice for like a $10 item or $20 item. Definitely not worth your time. But in this case, she spent that much time waiting for phone support. I mean, shoot, part of me thinks they just discourage people from doing phone support by doing these types of things, but yeah, that is ridiculous. I'm not sure how much her time is worth, but she should just, again, hindsight's 2020, but just go to the website and fill that out because they have the URL is right there. I just clicked it. There, you got the little recall. You have to look for your number there. A little step by step. Yeah, you just fill out your recall request. All right, so that was one pissed off person. Let's see here. There's 7 comments now. Oh, they're going viral, as the youth might say. Hold up on the monitor in front of me so I can better examine it. Oh, geez Louise. Okay. Elipi, interesting name. She has a sunflower, a yellow heart, blue heart, and Ukrainian flag. So Elipi, so she says, quote, "Why aren't you reimbursing what we paid? Your refund isn't even the recommended retail price. After taxes and shipping, I'm left seriously out of pocket, and you lost a customer forever." Oh no. Getting 2 likes and 65 views. Jonathan Green responded saying, "And you still have to own the product, even if you discovered it was unsafe, and it's just credited towards another Bissell product." Well, you don't have to own it. Presumably, you just throw it away if it's not safe. Which, Susie P also says, "Oh no, this is the worst. Oh yeah, this is the worst type of customer. The cheap and the complaining." Which, again, you should do the right thing. If you have a broken product, give them a refund. You should make sure they're taken care of. But yeah, this is even, in terms of this Susie lady's time is not worth. Can't be worthless. Can't be this worthless. So she responded saying, quote, "I bought one for my daughter's shower this weekend. I bought it in October because I'm on a fixed income and I paid more for it than $40. I called Amazon, but there's no help. It's wrapped in wedding paper. Now I have to go to the shower. Can't afford enough." another gift. I mean, depending on when you bought it, you can do an easy refund via Amazon. In October, then I think it is past the usual return time frame. But yeah, I'm not sure how much your time's worth. And it sucks if you're on a fixed income, and also blame the government for their ineptitudes and causing more inflation. Let's see here. Neil Patrick also says, important Bissell recall before buying another steamer to replace my Steam Shot. I'll wait for Bissell to come up with a new steam flavor. Why? Bison rules? Wow, so to make sure it's safe, he actually looks like he cut the cord off. You can't use it at all. So not great news. A lot of pissed off customers. And again, it's a pretty stable brand. I mean, it's been around for quite some time. I mean, granted, I'm not an enthusiast. I've never bought one by any means, but again, have a recall that, again, 3.2 million, that's big scope. And again, depending on how much it costs per unit to resolve this, how much it costs to make these customers happy, and that's going to be a pretty penny. And before you know it, they were making money on this, and now they're all of a sudden going negative. So Bissell with that 3.2 million steam clean devices being recalled, that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, giving me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.